Welcome to the Driver's Line. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jordan.
And today, we've got a conversation for you.
And today's conversation is all about F1.
Yes, Formula One. And we are here in front of the Red Bull's truck here at the New York International Auto Show. And we thought that would be a great background for our conversation today on Formula One.
Yeah, and as we know, in Formula One right now, there's a lot of drama that's happening, as there is every single season. So those of you that have been watching, I'm sure you've been aware of all the content that's been happening.
Yes, and what's unique about this season so far is most of the drama is happening off the track rather than on it. So, obviously starting off, the biggest news is Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, is leaving his home in Mercedes and going to Ferrari for the 2025 season.
That's pretty wild.
That is hugely wild because Ferrari has been wildly inconsistent.
Yes, they have.
So their strategy hasn't been great. They've had a lot of issues sometimes with reliability on their cars, which of course at the Australian Grand Prix, Lewis got to experience some reliability issues in his Mercedes as the car broke down. And it was a Ferrari double podium. So notwithstanding that, maybe he's going to have the opportunity to actually go into a more reliable car for next year, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's a little bit of a unique step for him. A lot of people really didn't expect him to want to go to Ferrari, but that's the decision he has made.
Yeah. On the other side of the aisle, we have news happening with Mercedes as well, looking at possibly Max Verstappen coming in to take over a spot there.
Yeah, so that's all predicated off of the fact that Red Bull has had this massive scandal, all centered around their team principal, Christian Horner. So Christian Horner has been accused of inappropriate activities with a female colleague. And so what Red Bull did is they said, hey, we're going to hire an independent barrister, we're going to investigate ourselves, and then we're going to find ourselves completely clear of any wrongdoing.
Go figure.
Which is basically what happened. So they have found him completely innocent of any wrongdoing. And right after that announcement was made, someone leaked all the text messages, all the pictures to everyone in the paddock, every team principal, every person in the media. They got a copy of that Google Drive to look at all of these texts and images between him and this female colleague from Red Bull.
Wow, that's really sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad. And to make matters worse, they then suspended her from the team.
It's terrible.
So all this infighting now within Red Bull has basically generated what Jordan mentioned, is that Max Verstappen may actually be considering leaving the team after the 2024 season, the team that has given him such a dominant car.
Yeah.
I mean, this dominant car is designed by Adrian Newey, who is just one of the best aerodynamicists in the world. Actually, another New York tie-in, he was named World Car Person of the Year for 2024.
That's right, yeah. He was featured here yesterday.
Yes, he was featured here yesterday. So, Adrian Newey, just fantastic. And honestly, he's the key to Red Bull's success. And so he's actually considering leaving the team as well, with some reported rumors, and he might be going to Ferrari of all places. So if Lewis is a Ferrari and Newey's a Ferrari, they could become massively formidable.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why you would want to leave a team in this situation. I mean, this is a super distracting environment.
Yes.
From one's abilities. We have a fantastic driver, a fantastic aerodynamics tuner, getting pushed away because we can't control our text messages.
All right. So in other news, we've got Carlos Sainz, who is the Ferrari driver, just won the Australian Grand Prix, outperformed his colleague Charles Leclerc. Yep. But so what we're actually going to see is he's going to be fighting for an open seat next year, and so at this point he doesn't have one. So the seismic shifting that Lewis kind of kicked off with going to Ferrari is going to open up. We've got an open seat at Mercedes. If Max fills that, then we're going to have an open seat at Red Bull. And that would be a logical place for Carlos to come back to, because he actually came up through the Toro Rosso program and joined Red Bull through Toro Rosso, and then moved on to his other endeavors in McLaren and now Ferrari. Yeah,
this could be one of the biggest shape-ups in the F1 history.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many different changes happening. Next season is going to be very interesting.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a hugely interesting season. We're about to approach the silly season. A lot of these shifts start to happen in their mid-season break, which we're kind of coming up to here now. But a lot is going on in the world of Formula One. And so another person that we need to talk about is Daniel Ricciardo. So he's currently at Visa Cash App Red Bulls, which is one of the worst names for a Formula One team ever.
Definitely.
But he's currently there. His teammate is Yuki Tsunoda, who's done phenomenally well to start the season. Ricardo's kind of taken a step back, and everybody was hoping that he would take a step forward to maybe qualify for that Red Bull seat. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case, and from what I am hearing is that Helmut Marko, who is the Red Bull's basically like talent guy, right, has given him two races to fix it, or he's going to be losing a seat to a junior who's Liam Lawson.
And as we all know, anything can happen during an F1 race.
Yes.
So having such a narrow number of races to fix that's going to be tough.
It's very tough. So one of the other big pieces of news that happened earlier this year was the denial of the Andretti Cadillac entry into Formula One. So they're trying to get in for the 2026 season, and they actually were approved by the FIA, but unfortunately there's two hands that has to make that approval. The other one was Formula One management, which includes the opinion of all 10 racing teams.
Yeah. One could suspect that there might be a little issue with that.
Yes, because in Formula One, cash is king,
Yep.
As we well know, and so the pot that they all share would now be split with 11 teams, and their point, which is honestly not completely unreasonable, but their point is that what will have Andretti Cadillac have done to add to the now burgeoning value of Formula One, right? But rules dictate that they're allowed to have up to 12 teams, and Andretti Cadillac would only be the 11th.
Okay.
So FIA, or FOM rather, Formula One management has not outright denied them, but they said, hey, reapply in a few years. Which isn't great to hear, because Andretti already fields a very, very successful IndyCar team and understands how to conduct open wheel racing.
Absolutely. And I mean, and when you look at who he's partnering with, I mean, Cadillac has a history of motorsports, and part of that application process is, well, what are you really bringing to the overall field? I mean, they're bringing a lot, and they have a lot of potential.
They do. I mean, absolutely. They're going to be coming in as a works team, right? Yeah. Cadillac's going to enter as an engine builder. Yeah. Right now, they only have two, right? They've got Mercedes, well, three: Mercedes, Ferrari, and Renault. Right. Are the three engine builders right now.
And you're also bringing an American manufacturer.
Yes, which they are greatly trying to expand their reach within North America, which is obviously taken off because of the Drive to Survive series on Netflix, and the additional races. Normally we just had Texas, we had the Circuit of the Americas. Right. They've since added the Miami Grand Prix and the Las Vegas Grand Prix, so now we have 3 events here. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually had
some representation
for the United States? Yeah. Just saying.
I agree with you. I think that's a pretty big misstep on their point, because sure, you're dividing it amongst more teams, but think about how many more people are going to be interested in watching races and coming to races and purchasing more F1 stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, you're going to increase that pot too.
Yep, so, absolutely.
I think it seems like a short-sighted decision.
It is, yeah. But you know what? That's their decision, and it's their ball, and they're going to take it from us. The upcoming races we have coming up, so in May, we've got the Miami Grand Prix. We've got Imola, down the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, and then we close up Miami by the granddaddy of them all in Monaco. So some great racing coming up over the next month, and we look forward to sharing it with you guys in the future.
Absolutely. We'll give you a post update after all those races happen again.
All right. Thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us on The Driver's Line.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a thing.